Hello, luxury lovers, and welcome to today's episode of Bucket List Luxury Hotels for 2025. This will be a great opportunity to potentially discover new hotels, but also an amazing opportunity to get to escape around the world for the next few minutes and get to travel to different destinations together. Now, the first hotel on my list is also the only chain hotel on this list because, as I've mentioned in this channel before, I have come to find through my luxury travels that even the most luxurious chain hotel does not really compare, once you come to experience it, to a luxurious boutique hotel, such as those that are but part of an organization that we are in love with on this channel, and that is the Relais and Chateau organization, which features not just hotels, fun fact, but also some restaurants from around the world, including dozens of 3-star Michelin restaurants. Let's get to the hotel. So as I mentioned, the first one is also the only chain hotel I'm mentioning here. And the first hotel that is on my bucket list for this year, not meaning it's the first I want to go to. So these are not in a particular order in terms of time of year I anticipate going there, but just first in terms of presentation on this video, is the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Tenerife. Now, Tenerife, for those of you that are not familiar, is technically an island off the coast of Africa. So if you can picture the map, you know, like Madagascar and Mauritius are on one side. Well, Tenerife is all the way on the other side and north. Tenerife is technically, though, from what I believe, a Spanish either territory or just straight up a part of Spain. So why this Ritz-Carlton? This Ritz-Carlton, and you'll know we have posted some not so pleasant Ritz-Carlton reviews on this channel before. So to those of you that are returning viewers or subscribers, this might come as a surprise. But honestly, for me, I fell in love with this building before I ever had my first Ritz-Carlton experience. Like, this is a destination hotel I've wanted to visit for years. Something about the color of the stucco or the facade, you know, that burnt orangey, is something that really speaks to me. It evokes some kind of nostalgia for I don't know what, but it's a setting that makes me feel really good. The contours of the building is something I'm drawn to. It reminds me a lot of Muslim buildings I've studied in fine arts class. It's just overall a safe, warm, peaceful vibe that I get from this building. And fun fact, a lot of Ritz-Carltons are like really dark, dare I say dreary, and honestly blasé inside. It's like gray everything. But this one, so that was the concern I had. Am I going to just look at a nice facade and then come back to a gray room? Actually, look at the rooms. The rooms here are very different from conventional Ritz-Carlton rooms, which I really appreciate. And as a fun fact, this Ritz-Carlton is undergoing major pool renovations this summer. So I guess if I am going to go there, I would go after the summer or slightly after the renovations, which are set to finish sometime in July. And I guess the last fun fact is that being somebody that's traveled extensively around the world, since I was a child, by the way, so I don't just mean traveled extensively in luxury per se, but through the course of my life, even before things got as luxurious as they are now, I have traveled extensively around the world. And so at this point in my travels, I'm drawn more to things off the beaten path or things that are more on the extremes, if you will. Still within the bounds of safety, though. Like, I'm not that kind of person that's going to go swimming with the sharks. I mean things in terms of extremes, in terms of natural beauty, for example. Case in point being, Tenerife, from what I know, has the most black sand on earth. I've seen photos of it online, and you know what they say about photos on the internet, but I've seen photos of it online where it's literally looking pitch black. And this hotel couples nicely with a must-see natural phenomenon of like the blackest sand on earth for me. So I'm really looking forward to that combo once it's time. The second hotel on my list, and these are again in no particular order, is called Fogo Island Inn, and it is in a Canadian province, in the Canadian province of Newfoundland. The full name being Newfoundland and Labrador. This inn, I don't think it needs much introduction in terms of why I'm looking forward to experience this building, especially with what I just said about being drawn to the extreme or the different, whatever word choice you prefer. But I mean, look at it. The inn was designed by an artist or an architect who was born in Newfoundland and Labrador and then spent his life in Scandinavia. So you can certainly see the Scandinavian inspired design of like this crazy modern building literally on a rock. That is something I want to experience. The building is very avant-garde. It comes with, everything is cooked for you. Every guest, I believe, is given a Tesla. That's what the website said. The building is not available certain times of year because of how cold it gets there. And case in point being the fact that one of the main adventures there, if you go during certain months of the year, is the caribou sighting experience. One thing I will say about this inn is that I've seen reviews that say it's impossible to get bang for buck in a place like this. It's impossible to speak to the value of an experience like this because bedrooms in this inn go for up to like $10,000, $20,000 a night. And I should have mentioned, so at the Ritz-Carlton in Tenerife, although it's a Ritz-Carlton, I've seen it be available for under $1,000, like $500 to $1,000 range. The Fogo Inn, the rooms start at, I believe, around $4,000 a night, and it only goes up from there. So I don't know when in the year I'm going here, but it's a big one to budget for. And yes, we still run a tight budget around here. The third bucket list hotel for me for this year is the Riad Fès. Honestly, we have wanted to go to this one for years as well. Keep in mind, the reason I'm saying years for some of these, or maybe even all of these, is because for years, we literally couldn't travel. Like, as I came to grow more successful as a lawyer, so I graduated law school, practiced for about a year. COVID hit big time. No one, people weren't allowed to travel to their family down the street, let alone around the world or on different continents. So the list kind of was stunted there. And now that we've come to travel again, well, obviously I can't teleport everywhere in one day or even in 1 year for that matter. The world is so big. So you're going to hear me say probably for all of these locations, I have been waiting years to go. The Riad Fès looks incredible. Price-wise, few $100s a night. Vibe-wise, I do come from a Muslim country myself, so the Muslim vibes in the decor, the mosaics, things like that are something I am not only familiar with and drawn to, but a setting where I feel more peace sometimes than in other settings. I mean, life is about balance, right? You'll see the next hotel is one that's all about nature, for example. So I need balance. But a fun fact about Muslim art, again, I've studied this in fine arts classes, is that there can be a lot of symmetry there. And being insanely into my work as I am, like I'm the kind of person that might work, I wake up at 5 a.m. and work until 2 a.m. Don't ask me how. But having those hours, being that extremely poured into my work on days that I do work, being in a symmetrical, mosaic art, Muslim art setting on my time off is something that calms me down. That's not to say I don't love abstract art. I actually kind of love a lot of different kinds of art. But again, just explaining to you like why I'm drawn to this. First of all, I'm drawn to it because there's familiarity there for me. Although the Muslim country I come from is not as formal Muslim as a place like Morocco, but again, familiar undertones. And then on top of it all, the art you see in these places, the architecture is something that I especially enjoy in and of itself, owing in part to the symmetry, the calming colors, and all of that. Speaking of colors, so you're going to notice that the bedrooms here, there's all different kinds of bedrooms actually. You can get the more modern headboard, Western looking situation, or you can get the very mosaic infused whole vibe. There is a pool on site. And one thing that I love when you look at the photos, I look forward to the vibrant cultural experiences that await in Morocco. And when it comes to Morocco, it's not necessarily a country where there's a pressure to visit the capital city or else. Morocco is a country that has a collection of large, vibrant, comprehensive cities, Fez being one of them, even though it's not the country's capital city. The last place in this video is the Liss or Liss. I'll put it in the caption. I'll put the correct spelling. I don't know if it's Liss or Lisse. The Liss Art Estate in Ireland. Again, once you get to a certain point of travel or wealth or experience, I'm allowed to want to go somewhere just for one kind of thing, which doesn't have to do, this hotel, I'll tell you right now, it's not the most impressive suites I've seen. It's not the most impressive hotel building I've seen. It is very nice greenery there, which even though we know nature very well, coming from Canada where I'm currently staying, it is, a special lushness in those on those islands, Ireland, UK, things like that, owing in no surprise to all the rainfall they get. They have great climate for this lush greenery. But the one reason I want to go to this hotel is to experience this live-in, or walk-in, I should say, James Turrell experience. He's an artist that has a reputation that precedes him, again, in and of itself. But you might have heard in recent news, if you're into pop culture, Kanye West has been somebody that has been very into James Turrell in his own private spaces to sort of calm himself down. Not surprisingly, you know, his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, has taken on an appreciation for James Turrell as well. He's known for very calming, soothing, like his exhibits are what you want to look at when you want to turn your mind off or silence the craziness of the world. And I honestly just want to go to this hotel to experience standing or sitting in the middle of this big green grass bowl. So it helps that of all the hotels on the list, I believe this is the most affordable at maybe $300 or so a night. As we wrap up this video, let me know, had you heard of any of these institutions? Did you maybe plan on going to them before? Are you thinking of going to them now? What do you think? Which one of these 4 hotels would you go to? What would be your dream vacation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I put all this, you know, cultural and luxury and educational awareness out there all on my own time because I want us all to experience nice things together. And I know that when it comes to making the money that it takes to create these experiences, I mean, it's all, I don't want to say made up, but we can all make money. I'm very much into that mindset. So let's all be amazing together. And again, I'll see you on the next luxury video just a week from now, or maybe even less. Thank you for watching.